Let's Talk Traitors Season 3, and this is episode 4. How are you, Ma?
I'm fine, sweetie. How are you?
I am good. I am Peju Bamgboshe Happy Hour.
Hi, everyone, and I'm Naomi Bamgboshe.
And today we're going to start off talking about the Traitors as we always do, but we like to start the show off with a little toast, Ma. So you want to start us off with a toast to the Traitors?
Oh, good luck to all involved, and Alan Cummins for being a wonderful host. And let's see, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's see how it goes. Long life, prosperity, health, wealth, happiness to all the cast. Salud.
Salud. All right. So let's start off how the episode kicks off. Kicks off right where we left off with Gabby walking into a bar room and overhearing some shady murdering plot stuff, but she doesn't know exactly what she's hearing. We quickly learn that Gabby does hear Danielle's voice coming from behind the secret bookcase, along with Boston Rob, Bob the drag queen, and Carolyn. Now, she doesn't, for some reason, seem to hear their voices, and she does hear Danielle's. The four traders are picking their targets for the night, and they settled on Nikki, Sierra, and Jeremy. So what are your thoughts on that, Ma?
I'm not sure how they came up with those choices, other than they were doing everything they could to divert attention from them, from themselves, from the traders. And I'm not exactly sure I agreed with their strategy regarding Sierra and Nikki. Other people were suspicious of Nikki. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. Jeremy, we knew Jeremy because he put Danielle's name in his mouth. He put it out there. So he was a direct and immediate threat. So that's it. I think they may be 2 out of 3. I think I probably agreed with.
Okay, so, things fell off throughout the castle. People were starting to sense that something was wrong. And Dylan Efron goes snooping around. He stumbles upon the open secret bookcase, and Danielle, along with Sierra, walk in with him. They exchange some words, but nothing really goes anywhere. And Dylan realizes, oh my gosh, maybe it's too late. So he can't figure out what's going on, but he knows something was off in that bookcase. So later, Mr. Alan Cummings, our lovely host, gathers everyone outside for the coffin ceremony, and we get the 3 names, like we said, Jeremy, Sierra, and Nikki, and they're all forced into the coffins, and they all, plead their case. We know that Gabby is like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because there's 3 people chosen, and Alan makes it very clear that one of them could be a traitor. So what are your thoughts on that, Mom?
No, the same thing. Just what I just said. Okay. I agree with the choices, except I wasn't too clear about Sierra.
I didn't understand.
I didn't really get why they chose her. Mm-hmm. And then, regardless to what Alan said, the other contestants, the faithfuls, they all know somebody in there could be a traitor. Mm-hmm. That's their automatic thinking, since they don't really know who the traitors are, unless, of course, you yourself are a traitor.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Sierra, I'm like, I don't understand that. Maybe because she's just alone. She's like the only person from that show, Summer House. I don't know. But
I think that one was kind of random. I really didn't see too much logic in that one at all.
Right. I don't really remember what Nikki said in the coffin, but I do remember Sierra was not happy, and she says, I want to find you and effing hunt you down. She was not happy about that. And Jeremy took more of a strategic approach, saying that, that he would work with the traitors, but I don't know if that's going to happen. After the ceremony, we know that Tom is a bit slow to leave, of course. So I don't know. Tom, to me, I don't really get his purpose on the show. He doesn't seem to figure anything out. He doesn't really seem to add anything to the show. It's just kind of like a name, don't you think?
I guess so. So far, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are very quiet and very unassuming, and then they emerge later on. So it's hard to say. Okay.
Tom did mention to Robin, whom Robin, we know she's always getting everything correct. He did mention to her, oh, I really think that there is a traitor in one of these coffins, and Robin's like, oh, or maybe two. So I don't know. So anyway, we'll see. The Traitors are banking on the idea that the faithfuls will believe that one of the coffin's victims is really guilty. The next morning, Robin is convinced that Sierra is the traitor, while Gabby is still kind of wondering what's going on with Danielle, after hearing her behind the bookcase. So she continues to have her as a suspect. But Robin quickly dismisses this, and asks Danielle, or mentions to Danielle about somebody being in the bookcase, or says, was someone back there in the bookcase? And Danielle is just kind of real. She admits that she was in the bookcase with Dylan, and I think that kind of throws people off, and Gabby is disappointed that the theory is kind of rebunked. What do you think about that? You think that saved Danielle a little bit when Danielle was kind of honest?
Yeah, I think whatever her thinking was, they were able to deflect.
Okay.
That just went right out the window.
Yeah, and Danielle to me was doing a lot. Over the past few episodes, I think she was overacting, and hopefully she's going to self-correct because she's seeing what's going on.
Yeah, and they haven't been very careful,
right,
as far as I'm concerned. At least a couple of them have not been very careful.
Right. And so as more and more people come in, we're waiting to see who is who's left. Finally, we see Nikki and we see Sierra, but then we don't see Jeremy. So Jeremy is dead. Now that to me, I guess like you said, it shouldn't really be a surprise that he would be in there, but I really enjoy Jeremy. I thought that Jeremy was smart, and I wanted to see him go far in the competition. So.
Well, but once he came out so strongly against someone who really was a traitor, well...
Yeah, he probably should have kept that close to the vest. And
right.
Then he happened to
and you don't know who to trust.
Right.
So.
And he doesn't, and I don't think he knew Bob the drag queen before the show. Maybe he did, but he trusted in Bob the drag queen, and Bob happened to be a traitor. And that's not good. I think that maybe on this show you can have maybe one, person that you really do trust, and hopefully it's a person from, the same show as you. But as we see, that is not working out well.
Not necessarily from the same show. Just hope it's the right person. And then ultimately, when it comes down to the final two, you're not going to be able to trust that person either.
There's no final two.
Well, when it comes down to the end, you know how they team up.
Yeah. But we just don't know how many people it will be.
Right.
But Caroline was all broken up. She really did not want this. She was really upset because we know that that she was from Survivor as well, and we know that Jeremy is a former winner of Survivor, so she was not happy about it. So I don't know.
Caroline, she's unhappy about everything,
mm-hmm.
but yet she doesn't stand up forcefully against anything.
No, which is why nobody will think that she's a traitor too. That could
well, yes. So so she's just in there like everybody else. She's no more empathetic than anybody else as far as I'm concerned. She's just more theatrical and goofy.
Well, my people are now throwing all sorts of names out there. Dylan and Nikki are, on the right track, unfortunately, as they've been eyeing Bob the drag queen. And Nikki, is thinking now that because Jeremy is gone, she's remembering when Jeremy told her about Danielle. So that's not good. But before they can get too far, there's another mission that's coming up. And this is carrying like massive Easter Island heads up a hill and assembling them on bodies. And so the first 6 to finish get immunity shields, leaving the remainder of the cast vulnerable to get murdered. Now, this to me, I felt a little bit sad with this one. One thing, did you notice that Alan Cummins was throwing shade because he said the first 4 of the heads were men? Did you notice that? And those heads were very heavy. And Tom didn't even talk to anybody. He just ran up there to make sure that he had a shield. Did you see that?
Yes.
you know. Yeah, and Tom already has a bad reputation, so I didn't like that. But something that I felt really like sad about was Bob Harper. What were your thoughts about Bob Harper?
What do you mean? What felt sad
Well,
about him? What?
he admitted that because of his past
his
heart attack,
heart trouble, he didn't want
very
to
challenging.
Right. He didn't want to risk it. He was reluctant to risk it. Yes.
And he's from The Biggest Loser, and he was always very fit. And he said he could kill a competition like this. Many years ago. But it just made me a little bit sad, and I felt he was being very vulnerable.
Yeah, well, he's being vulnerable just coming on the show. As far as that's concerned, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I was always a fan of Bob's when he was on The Biggest Loser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always came across as a nice guy.
Yeah. So, the men pretty much sweep the challenge, which I think is really not good. And then Bob the drag queen, who I love, he says something that gets, maybe one person gets him upset. And one of the new guys needs a head up there because we all think one of them might be a traitor. This is what Bob the drag queen says. And guess who hears that? Boston Rob hears that, and Boston Rob is not happy about it. He can't ignore this, and he decides that he's going to start planting seeds with fellow traitors, and also some faithfuls.
And Dylan Efron is already on Bob's trail, but he just needed a little bit of encouragement,
right?
And that's what he got. But what happened is that Bob was not even realizing that by doing that, he also was making himself a bigger target.
Right. And I really didn't like that. But Dylan Efron, who I think is doing a really good job and is really into the show. He really is just not somebody they just threw up there. I think he is bringing a lot to the show.
Yeah.
He's a fan of Boston Rob.
Yeah.
He grew up watching Boston Rob on these reality shows. So he's just psyched to work with Boston Rob, and that's like one of the worst people
that he could possibly work with.
Right.
Well, let's just see. He may be playing that, oh gosh darn, I'm so happy role. Yeah. But he may also be looking at him like, I've seen you for years. I know what you are about.
Right.
So we don't know that yet. We don't know that, right?
Yeah. Next, we go to the round table where all of the drama explodes. Now, we know that Rob is trying to deflect everything that's going on because he wants to get Bob the drag queen out. That is his goal. It's really, really exciting to watch, but I also don't know how I like the ending. So the whole room is pretty much shocked that Boston Rob pretty much put Bob out there, and kind of I think was like the nail on the coffin for him. As we go,
I think he led the charge.
He did.
I think he was.
He did. He did. And they were going back and forth. But if we go through the actual votes, I don't know. We have Brittany voted for Bob the drag queen. Caroline voted for Bob the drag queen. Chriselle voted for Bob the drag queen. Sierra voted for Bob the drag queen. Danielle, who was very upset, voted for Bob the drag queen. Now, what did you think about Danielle voting for him? Do you think she should have voted for him, or you think she should have threw her vote off, or what do you think about that?
I think she just did it because she felt that she was going along with the crew. She felt that it was a done deal, a fait accompli. So she just said, I might as well just go ahead and vote for him, so people don't think right. Don't think that I'm one of the traitors. Mm-hmm. And but that could cut both ways, mm-hmm. and she wasn't willing to risk it.
Mm-hmm. So, and some people I noticed online. Now I like Derek because I'm a fan of him from Big Brother, but maybe I'm being too sensitive. If I am, please let me know, guys. I didn't like that he was coming from Sierra. And what he said that Sierra cursed, that she was cursing when she was being put in a coffin.
Right, and everybody knows that she's been cursing all the time.
Right, and so, okay, has nobody in there cursed before? Like, are you so sensitive? Oh, that's what you have picked up as a detective?
Oh,
there?
I didn't even take that as any kind of thing, kind of statement regarding her morals or her behavior. I just took that as he interpreted that as she was not behaving the way she normally does. That's what I thought he meant. I didn't think he was saying anything about, oh, you're being vulgar or anything.
Well, no, but
maybe he was.
I don't think that he necessarily said anything about her being vulgar, but that he picked up on something from her, and he's a detective, and he's making it seem like, oh, I'm going with my gut and my instinct, and it's just completely off. And so something about that just seems...
The cursing thing was dead wrong.
Yeah.
The cursing thing... Who wouldn't... A lot of people would be mad and be cursing.
Right. And a lot of people don't go in a coffin.
Right. Whether they ever cursed or not. A lot of people would, when somebody's telling you to go to get in the coffin...
Right.
And, whatever, and then you know that you could be eliminated... as a candidate to win, what is it, $250,000?
It's $250,000.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%. No, I still do like Derek. I don't dislike him. I just feel he was wrong.
Well, it's not that I dislike him. I'm just looking at him sideways because I don't know where he was coming from with that.
I don't get that reason either. To me, maybe, you know what? Maybe it was his experience with Sierra. Maybe he just had never noticed or heard her cursing.
Maybe he did.
Because he seemed to think it was odd for her to do that. And I don't get
just a bad read from Derek, and Derek usually is not known for bad reads.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Dolores, she also voted for Bob the drag queen. Dylan, we know, voted for Bob the drag queen. Gabby voted for Sierra, which I don't understand. Ivar, he voted for Bob the drag queen. Nikki voted for Sierra, and we know who Rob voted for, Bob the drag queen. And so Bob had enough votes at this point, to be banished.
Yeah, what was that, 7-8 votes he had? Yeah,
he had a lot, and he had 8. It was funny. He goes, remember, he was saying, I never lied. He says, I swear to God.
Yeah.
And that was a lie because I don't believe in God. I'm a traitor. And I love that. I thought that was funny. It was very like Bob-esque.
Yeah.
Bob the drag queen.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we're going to be missing something.
Yeah. Bob was colorful in every way.
Yeah.
But he is so out there. He just was almost automatically a target.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah, just his whole personality, just really, And I'm going to miss him too. He brought a lot to the show. I'm going to miss him. But you know what? I think they're going to have something for Rob.
I hope so.
Rob, Boston Rob.
Yes.
I think they're going to have something for him because they had a mini conference in one of their little side rooms, and they had a mini conference in there, and it was pointed out that Rob was so...
Yeah, Wes. You remember
Wes? It was Wes who said it, yeah. That Rob was so gung-ho, and he felt so certain and so confident about the fact that Bob the drag queen was a traitor. And he says, who could be so confident of that?
Right.
Unless you're a traitor.
Right. How do you know 100% that someone's a traitor?
Now, see, they could have taken it as if he didn't really know 100%, but he was just felt so strongly about his instinct. But something in Rob let the other house guests, the other candidates or whatever, let them know that he really did know that Bob, the drag queen, was a traitor.
And if anybody...
That came across.
Yeah, and if anybody really caught it when Bob, the drag queen, was going back and forth with Boston Rob during the boardroom, Bob, the drag queen, goes, you're scared of me. I'm your biggest threat. I'm the biggest threat to the traitors or to other traitors or something like that. Or to the traitors. Whatever he said, it made it seem like he was calling out Boston Rob.
He did.
As being a traitor.
He is. And he is. All that little thing they was doing, all that one-on-one that they were doing, he was calling him out. Because you can look at from last seasons how they did it.
Right.
You know, the one who was the traitor that was under fire, they would call out a traitor.
Right.
They would call out a traitor before they left.
Right.
And that's what he did.
Right.
So and people going to pick up on that now. How persuasive he's going to be in saving his own neck, I don't know.
Right.
But there's definitely people sitting in that room that picked up on that.
Yeah, listen, I thought it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm not happy about Bob the drag queen, and I hope that Sierra can save herself, because I would just like to find out more about, just, you know, see her fight in this competition.
Well, she has fight in her.
Yeah. So,
you know, we have seen some sparks. So I'm, you know, looking forward to the season. You know, I thought I was going to get like really angry, you know, when Bob the drag queen left. I thought I was going to get really angry, and I did for a few minutes, and then I said, let me watch on a little bit longer. And then when I saw some of them, they would start, because I wanted Rob out. After he did that, I got mad at Rob because he turned on each other immediately. You're supposed to do that as a last resort.
Yeah, that's
you don't just jump up and do that, you know. And I was mad about that. And then I heard in their little mini conference, that little group saying, we need to keep our eye on Rob.
Right.
And I was happy with that, because that means he's going to be on fire. Now, if he can manage to get himself, you know, exonerate himself or extricate himself from the situation, well, so be it, if they're going to be that foolish. But people are on to him. Oh, yeah.
I quickly, I just wanted to go through the contestants, and, you know, if you think they're playing well right now, and then we can, you know, wrap it up. Sam, the model / actor, Brittany's ex.
And not much, just following the pack.
He's not bringing much at all.
You're right.
To the show.
It's not yet.
Wes. Now we know Wes is gonna bring the
Wes
drama.
has a little more fire. Yes.
He also was on the House of Villains. He has drama.
Well, okay, good.
Dolores, I don't know. I'm not getting much from Dolores
yet. I barely can remember Dolores. But go ahead.
Robin is a person who has bad reads, and that might be good for the Traitors, but she has terrible reads.
She has bad reads, but she seems to be more nice.
Yeah, she's nice. But, you know, Dylan. Now we know Dylan has been entertaining so far.
Right. Dylan has been all in it. He's been participating fully.
Right.
Not in a malicious way.
Right.
Either not malicious, but he's been in it.
Oh, and what other thing with Bob the drag queen? Zac Efron is actually a better actor than he gets credit for. He actually, I've seen him do some really
he was fabulous in the Iron Claw.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Garcia.
But I haven't seen him fabulous in too many other things.
Well, he was good at that.
Yeah, okay.
I got time. All right.
Bob, you know, he has reason. I don't know if you've seen all his work, but he has reason for what he said, you know. Mm-hmm.
Nikki Garcia, let's see. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Nikki. Okay. Bob Harper.
Nikki, I think will fight. I think Nikki's being drawn into it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any choice but to fight, because people have attacked her.
Right.
And she, you know, and she spoke up for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bob Harper, you know, I like Bob. I don't know about his reads in the game, but I like him. I think
Bob is just there to have fun. You know.
Oh gosh, Brittany Haynes. Brittany and her comic relief. You know, little goofy diary stuff.
Yeah, I don't see anything in that. The Bozo Club, but that's it.
Derek. Well, but Brittany is conniving though.
Well, good. She's good.
Brittany, yeah,
good. That will help her.
Yeah,
because you certainly won't think she's on top of things. So that's really good.
No,
that's very smart of her. She's crafty and cunning. Good. Good. Go, Brittany. Because you seem like a cuckoo clock. But go ahead.
Derek. Oh gosh. Well, I thought Derek was doing good for a minute, but I don't like him coming.
You had one bad wrong read, but let's just see.
He does think that maybe Boston Rob is the traitor.
Yes,
he did mention that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. A few people are going to add some spice to Rob.
Oh yeah. Well, we know Rob. What are your thoughts on his
What is it
plan?
to think? Except he's a cutthroat. He'll just cut your throat for $1. He's terrible.
And well, Sierra is, we talked about Sierra. I think she will fight. Sierra's the youngest contestant.
Yeah. Sierra has a little more spunk than we thought.
Yeah.
Especially when you come for her. I don't see her attacking anyone, but I see her defending like hell.
How about Ivar?
Ivar is just what he is. The FBG. That's all. Or the FRG, the first royal gay. That's all. He ain't on there doing nothing.
How about Miss Danielle?
And she trying to struggle to stay on there. That's all.
Now
Danielle's trying to stay on there.
Danielle is one of the first villains of Big Brother, and so I think she's going to bring it. I hope she brings it. I'm hoping. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, she already showing she's a little bit, tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's already showing that.
And then we have Tom. Now that really is bozo. How about Chriselle? How about part of the Bambi?
I have seen nothing from that Bambi group except get along and go along and silly along so far.
Well, we didn't get to Gabby, but Gabby
talks.
Yeah,
Gabby runs her mouth a lot.
She does.
She really is Gabby.
And Caroline, we mentioned her. Oh Lord,
Caroline. I can't even believe they entrusted her to be a traitor. But hey, anybody can be a traitor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then finally, we mentioned Gabby. But I think Gabby will run her mouth. She may not believe in her theories, but she will run her mouth.
And and Gabby does talk. And then let's face it, some of these people, they just want to be kind of slide through as long as they can. And if they're forced into having to make really difficult choices, mostly they'll go along and get along.
Right.
But if they're forced to make difficult choices, I think they just will. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's going to. I don't think anybody is that thin-skinned or whatever. I mean, they cry and they act this way and that way and all that. But I think all of them that came on the show, no, look, I'm either going for that 250 or whatever.
And for some people, it's not even about that because all these people getting paid.
Yeah.
I know they all, because these people have their own.
They're fighting for something. They're fighting for more TV time or something.
Yeah,
they're fighting for something.
No, the money is good, but they're getting paid too.
Yeah, I understand that they aren't destitute. I got all that, but they're fighting for something. And like you say, they already and for whatever demographic, that most of them are already some sort of star.
Right.
Yeah. So I got it. Yeah. I'm in total agreement with you, but it's whatever that motivates them to win. They know what this show is before they come on there. So I don't think any of them are that hypersensitive that they won't just really stab you to save themselves.
Oh yeah, no, me neither.
They're always talking about friends and how much they love this one and love that one. But this is also a competition, and I think they're all aware of that.
Okay, I don't really have any final thoughts except I'm excited to see next week's episode. Ma, do you have anything that you want to add?
I just want to make this comment. I'll be glad when they bring the fire to Raw.
Okay.
I'll be very happy because I thought that it was not necessary at this time, at this early stage, for him to turn on another traitor. I was not happy about that.
Agree.
I don't think that Bob, the drag queen, was really gunning for Rob. Mm-hmm. I think he just was running his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't think he was gunning for Rob at all. And the two of them could have had a talk.
Yeah.
Because they meet in the what is that, the Tourette every night?
Yeah.
So I wasn't happy with that.
That's what I think. I think that it was too quick for Boston
That's
Rob
all.
to turn on Bob.
Yeah, I mean when those numbers start getting, dwindling down, well, it's every man for himself.
Right. Or you could work together. It depends on
there you go.
how they call the show.
Well, whatever. Up until the end, you can do that, but because early on, lots of people out there, lots of strategies and everything, and he just was gunning. Right. And I mean, he wasn't even a traitor from the beginning. Right. He became a traitor later. Yeah. So he didn't know Bob but 5 minutes, and I think he felt threatened by Bob the drag queen, and Bob the drag queen had just had such a colorful personality, and people liked him too. Mm-hmm. So hey,
Boston Roadman liked him too, but that might be a reason why he wanted to get rid of him.
Well, you know what? I want to see them bring the fire for him, because I think he was too harsh and too hasty to get rid of Bob the drag queen.
Okay, well, don't forget to tune in every Friday, guys, for our recap after a brand new Traitors episode. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, All Things Pays You, home of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Check out the regular podcast, the Bamgboshe Happy Hour, every Thursday and some Sundays. It's streaming on all platforms. We really do appreciate you guys. Catch you later.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Please subscribe. And check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.